Say, oh, he has an accent. So he kept quiet. So the young girl, obviously looking for a way of addressing him, called her friend and said, come. Say, now say something. So the man says something. Now, you see, languages are very important to me because they help me to analyze. The whole world is about balance and analysis. You know, when somebody speaks to you and he uses words, you want to understand him. And as a diplomat, of course, communication. If you talk of language, talk of communication. Look at my book, Protocol for Life, you know, guidelines on diplomatic, official and social manners. Teaches you that when you want to present an idea as a diplomat, you do not want to hurt people's feeling. You know, you want to learn their culture. If you speak the language of some people, you've already conquered their hearts. You know this, young lady, if I'm able to speak to you in your mother tongue, I'm sure you will read my letter often, more often. You see, that's what it is. Language is important for diplomacy. Apart from my interest, it's a natural thing. I love it. It's like hobby to me. I've learned about 12 or 13 of them now. And I keep learning every day. It's good. It enables you to discuss with people, to exchange ideas. And also, it's a world view. Like Ambassador Kamal, who speaks the language of almost the whole world. You know, that's why he is. And we are following his footsteps. If you understand people's language, you understand their culture more. And it's an exposure. The world is suffering today because people don't want to understand other people's point of view. People are myopic. They are short-sighted. They don't understand why they are doing what they are doing. See, there's a proverb in my place that a young man can be rich and acquire so many garments at the same time, but there's no way he could acquire as many rags, used clothes, as an elderly one. Experience is important. Language helps you to garner, to understand other people's experience. I hope you've understood me.
Yes, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
My name is Nancy Morehouse, and kind of along with the theme of globalization and also languages, I'm curious more about the effects of the English language in Nigeria. I was wondering if you think that, you know, in the long term, has it benefited Nigeria? And also the effects of it culturally. Does the pop culture seep into the culture of Nigeria and things along those lines?
I'm sorry, the second one I didn't understand.
Just the effects of the English language in culture. Does the pop culture of the English language, things like music and movies and things like that, how that affects Nigeria? And
Thank you very much. You know, I said oftentimes when we get to the UN and we are discussing about grammar and words, I often joke. I say, you Americans don't speak English. You speak American. Because it's the English that speak English. And we are there for the grammar. You know, foreigners are more interested in the intricacies of grammar. One of the shockers of my life was that those who learned my mother tongue outside Nigeria, they really taught me a few things that I never thought of. I told you about how I went to Brazil to present certificates to them. You know that I never knew the Yoruba word for fork until I got to Brazil. We call it fork, give me a fork. But no. They say it is igunje. I was shocked. So this is how the world is. The English language is very important, of course. It has a lot of advantages. There's no doubt that English language is a language of technology. I found out, with all due respects to other European languages, I'm an interpreter of 3 of them. If you make a statement in English, that's 1 page, the odds are that if you translate it into French faithfully, you will realize 1.5 pages. And if you take the same text into Portuguese, you are likely to have 2 or 2.5 pages of Spanish. So the precision of the language is there. There's no doubt about it. And it has to do with the experience and exposure of the English language that has brought itself, transplanted itself from here to Asia. People speak the Commonwealth. where English is spoken. That's that. And let me tell you, have no fear. Nigeria will continue to speak English language, although we have a policy that we have 3 national languages, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. And the policy is that a Nigerian must learn 2, so that each time we meet, if I learn A and C, and you learned B and A, we can communicate in one of them. That's the policy. But it's not been very easy. I speak Yoruba and Igbo, so I fulfilled my own part, and I have an idea of Hausa. But, that's as for the pop culture, see, culture is usually, it's a matter of environment. Somebody says that, look, if I get to China, lizard is a delicacy. Or scorpion, or snakes. But these are cultural things. That I don't eat them is just because I didn't come from China. If you go there, you will relish this. So, the pop culture, I must say maybe my children who are in the university, one of them is finishing now, like some of you, they understand this more. We all followed culture as it came. In the 60s, we all liked it. Even Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, Afro. We never went to the barber for 3-4 years. I remember I was in 7 in Switzerland, 1983. And then I saw an article, Mort pour le nez de Michael Jackson. It was the story of a young man, a teenager, who committed suicide. Why? Because he wanted to have the nose of Michael Jackson. And the parents said, look, we are so poor. We are from the Caribbean. We can't afford plastic surgery. And he killed himself. Unfortunately. See, culture is also an emotional thing. It's an emotional thing. But there's a proverb in my place that says that money, while leaving the home, spoke to everybody there that, look, I'm leaving now. Money, once I'm not at home, don't program anything. Don't plan anything, because it cannot be fulfilled until money, I come back to you. Culture is an issue of money too. It's an understanding. But I believe in pluralistic culture. Let culture compete, but let us also not forget our past. Don't forget our past, because he who forgets history is bound to commit its mistakes. Human beings, we are one. We have made many mistakes. There's no doubt. But we can correct ourselves. It is very possible. Human beings can make mistakes, but we can correct ourselves. We have not realized before that there's one brotherhood or sisterhood of mankind. It's the same. When I was growing up, we thought that some parts of my country were not like us. But when the idea of national service, because in Nigeria, once you finish college, you will be given 1-year assignment outside your region. And so I was sent to the eastern part of the country. And we feared that we might be killed. So the person who went there before me, a year ahead, people felt that he would be killed, something like that. But he came back and was happy. And when I went there, the same place, I didn't come back for Christmas. And my mother was worried. Where there were no telephones linking us. So she wrote a letter. And the postmaster brought the letter to me. And I replied immediately, Mommy, I'm enjoying myself. I might not be coming home for Christmas. You enjoying yourself? Who are the people? I say, our sisters, brothers, we're the same. See, and that really helped us to open our eyes that just as my people say, that if you want to injure a small bird, you catch a bird from the nest, and you pinch it, the bird will scream and yell for pain. But before you do that, my people say, take a needle, pinch yourself first, and know that as it pains the bird, so it pains human beings. we are all the